liberate us in his time.
Where's this great hero that all my grandpa's friends used to tell stories about? The general has chosen you to liberate his people from Midian. He will prepare and empower you, Gideon, and you will march against his enemies and slaughter them down to the very last man.
I call upon any man or woman who wants to see good times come back to our country, who wants our children to be able to play in the streets again, whoever's tired of that guilty voice inside telling them they should be fighting back, who wants to realize they were born for something better than dust and rubble. Let's man the guns.
I'm real busy. There's so much work to do. Okay, let's go. All right. So, this story happened a long time ago. When I was a little boy, about your age, Joseph, there was this wicked admiral named Eglon who was always attacking our country. He'd come in and force us to give him all our food and money. He'd tear down buildings, loot houses, burn crops, even kill people.
I don't think I like this story.
So, the general was furious because he cares about us so much. He wanted to bring us to victory, but everyone was either afraid or just plain too disobedient to be trusted with the general's war. So the general had an idea. He left the country and handed it over to Eglon.
What? He just left us to die and he looted and ransacked?
No, you see, that was just part of his plan. Eglon didn't need to kill anyone once he was in control of the country. He just sat in his fortress all day long. He raised taxes and just got lazy. Now, there's something you should know about old Admiral Eglon. Even before he took over our country, he was kind of a fat guy. And I mean, he was fat. But you see, after sitting in his fortress all day long getting lazy, he became absolutely ginormous. So, the general came up with another idea. He found someone who still trusted him. A young lieutenant named Ehud.
Ehud?
Ehud. Now you see, Ehud swore that he would follow the general's orders no matter how crazy they may seem. And he kept his promise. So the general gave him a mission and a dagger that was 12 inches long, just at the blade.
Wow.
But how would Ehud get a knife that size and kill Eglon? The admiral would have had guards protect for any hidden weapons.
Joseph, do you think that the general never thought of that? Ehud was concerned about the guards too, but he trusted the general. So here's the trick. Joseph, if you're so smart, where would you check me if you thought I was hiding a weapon in my clothes?
Your left leg.
Because I'm right-handed. But you see, Ehud was left-handed, so he could hide the dagger in his right leg, and no one would be the wiser.
I get it.
But wait, there was still a problem. Ehud had to find some way to get inside Eglon's fortress. So he became a tax collector. Pretty soon, he'd accumulated a huge pile of money. And so he finally got the opportunity to meet old Admiral Eglon in person. Now, there were still guards in the room, but again, the general had thought of that. Ehud walked into the room, where Eglon was in a pretty good mood, because he'd accumulated a huge amount of money. So, Ehud leaned in close and said, "I have a secret to tell you, but I don't want any of them to hear it. They might be spies for the general." So Eglon sent the guards out of the room, as well as all the officers and servants. "What's your secret?" he asked Ehud. Ehud leaned in close and said, "Actually, it's more of a message." He reached down, grabbed the dagger from his right leg and said, "The general sends his regards," and plunged the dagger into Eglon's belly.
Oh.
Now, Eglon was so fat that the dagger just slid right in until even the handle disappeared in Eglon's fat. Well, it meant he didn't have to hide a murder weapon.
That's good. Hiding a murder weapon can be such a trifle.
But that's not the grossest part. As Eglon died, his bowels emptied. Ehud ran to the door, locked it, went back into the bathroom, tore the toilet off the floor, and escaped the fortress through the sewers. Then he went out to the hill country, where he was kind of smelly, but still strong. He called together the soldiers of our country and led them to battle. With only 100 of our country's simple farmers and herdsmen, that day they killed 10,000 of Eglon's strongest and bravest warriors.
Wow.
So did Ehud become the new general?
Why would he need to? We had and still have a great general.
But he's so strong. And clever. And brave.
Wrong. He was just obedient. You see, he relied on the general's strength. He trusted the general's clever ideas, and he was courageous because he believed in the general's leadership. That's why he was the man for the job. The general doesn't need anyone else's strength, their cleverness, or their bravery. He just won't use anyone unless they trust him.
Tell us another story, please.
No, I'm sorry. I have to get back to work. But I'll tell you what. Come find me tomorrow, and I'll give you guys another story.
Thank you, Mr. Abaddon.
Go on home now.
Mr. Abaddon, when will the general kick against Midian?
He will, Joseph, but you see, he's not just going to do it for us. We have to be willing to go into that fight. Okay, look around you. The reason we're always being attacked by the Midianites isn't because they're stronger than the general. It's just simply no one wants to follow the general anymore.
Why not?
See, that's a little bit more complicated,
Thanks.
but...
Hey, that's my breakfast.
It was your breakfast, now it's my mid-morning snack. Thanks, kid.
Hey! That belongs to the boy. You should go home now, Joseph.
You better answer for that, Abaddon.
You're a disgrace to the general.
Oh, the
Do you
general.
know that?
The general. Oh, the general, yeah. Yeah, I think I've heard of him, huh? Look here, folks. This guy actually believes in those children's stories.
You silly old...
Oh, you think I'm disgracing him, Abaddon? He's disgraced himself enough over the last 20 years. He doesn't need my help.
Right.
And when was the last time you heard of his high and mightiness accomplishing anything around here?
Yeah.
He's never lifted one finger to protect us against the Midianite army.
Right.
One finger.
And why do you say his name to me like I'm supposed to be embarrassed, Abaddon? He's the embarrassment, and so are you. Look at yourself.